Hey everybody, we're back again. It's Domi.
I'm Jamie.
And we're with Sam Dorm, and we're still inside the mausoleum at Prospect Hill Cemetery, but now we're going to switch gears and we're going to talk to Sam about her work with the Friends of the Lebanon Cemetery.
And shout out to Sam. She saw us shivering on our episode and brought us hot chocolate. Like, how amazing is
It's
that?
piping hot.
I tried.
So Sam is on Project Penny Heaven's committee, and she's been extremely helpful with a lot of research. But one of your main goals has been Lebanon. Can you tell us about the Lebanon Cemetery?
Absolutely. So Lebanon Cemetery, very close to where we're at right now. We're at 1412 North George Street. So with Lebanon Cemetery, this is a historic black cemetery. It was started in 1872 at a time when, of course, there was segregation. I was listening to the earlier segment where you talked about with Penny Heaven that we didn't have segregation there, but 1872 is when Lebanon Cemetery started. And up until the mid-1960s here in York County, there was a survey that was done asking all of the local cemeteries whether or not anyone, and I'm going to use the terminology from that time, so they were asking whether or not anyone from the Negro race could be buried in our York County cemeteries, and the answer was no.
In the 1860s.
This was in the 1960s still, that the answer in York County was no.
Oh my gosh.
So when our cemetery was started in 1872, it was very simple. We wanted to be able to bury our families with dignity and respect.
Wow. That when I missed the beginning part when you said 19. That blows my mind.
1960s.
Like my parents grew up in the 60s.
We do have, well, of course, if you think about the civil rights and desegregation, didn't happen until the 1960s. That also meant cemeteries. So one of the things when we're talking to people, we, use this coined phrase, and I know I've certainly seen it with a lot of Jim's work through the years and picked up from that, and it was very, even in death, there was segregation.
Even in death?
Even in death, there was segregation.
So what got you interested in Lebanon in the first place?
I have family there at Lebanon Cemetery. I've known that all of my life. I'm born and raised here, but I didn't realize how much family I had there. I would go to, to visit the grandparents or, a couple of other relatives. You go to the grave of your loved one or who you're seeking and maybe not necessarily take in the land or understand the importance of the site. And back in 2019, I had an aunt and uncle who passed away that were very dear to our family, of course, but they had purchased the plot in Lebanon Cemetery in 1977. So they no longer lived here in York County. They had done very well for themselves in their life. My uncle was a chemist with the EPA. He was a supervisor working out of Philadelphia. My aunt was an educator for many years, receiving all kinds of awards, and they were living in Westchester at the time of their death. But they had made that purchase in 1977. So even though in 1872, we were, when I say we, I'm talking about the black community, this was the only place that we could go as far as kind of this metro York area. There are some other black cemeteries here in York County, smaller ones, one out in Wrightsville as well as a few down in the southern part of the county. But for kind of this metro York area, this was the only site. So back then it was more about necessity. When my aunt and uncle passed in 2019, now it's about pride. That people wanted to be buried first and foremost with their loved ones, but also knowing and understanding the rich history of who we have at the site. It was about pride.
When was desegregation in cemeteries common in York then?
I believe the article, and we have the newspaper clipping on our Facebook page, and I think it might also be on our website, which of course is just Friends of Lebanon Cemetery.com. The Facebook page is the same, Friends of Lebanon Cemetery. And the newspaper clipping, I believe, is 1966.
Okay, 1966. Thinking about all of your research and the stories that you've uncovered, because you're always posting your articles that you found and people that you've uncovered. It's impressive, number one. But have you had any people buried there that you'd like to highlight tonight? Like someone's maybe story that was previously untold?
Well, here in York County, we for years would kind of talk about the same people all the time. I think at this point, everyone knows about William C. Goodrich and the Underground Railroad. Wonderful contribution. But he was not the only Black Underground Railroad conductor in York County. And so what we've been trying to do is to tell more of the untold stories or undertold stories, okay? Because we have over 3,000 people in Lebanon Cemetery, all with a unique story. So if you're talking about wanting to discuss the veterans, we have more than 300 veterans. We have some that served during the Civil War. We have Buffalo Soldiers. We have, of course, World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam. And just a few weeks ago, we were able to, for the first time, get headstones for 12 of our veterans. And, just what a wonderful feeling to be able to do that and to bring those families together. These were all for individuals that served during World War I, World War II, and we even had one gentleman who was killed in action in Vietnam. And I'm very happy to say that the folks here at Prospect Hill reached out to us right away, and his name will be here at Prospect Hill with all of the other veterans that are memorialized.
You make it seem so easy. And now we have all of these monuments, but walk us through. It probably took you months and lots of financial contributions and people that you were talking to. It's not that easy. It's tough.
I'm happy to say we have a team of individuals. We are all volunteers. Most of us have some type of connection to the cemetery, family or friends of, but there's something that kind of brings us together. So I can't claim at all that this has been just me. We have a team, and that's really important to say that. And everyone kind of has different roles for what they do. I'm at my computer all day, every day, and then that's just kind of how my home life is set up, so I can do more of the computer work versus those folks that are going to be physically at the cemetery, cleaning the markers, working with the stones. I kind of am like the logistics person to bring in the volunteers, to bring in the finances. Whether that would be through grants or contributions, lots of posting that Domi does, so I celebrate you guys for that, and being able to do that. So we all kind of took on a different role, and then kind of cohesively meshed that
Takes
together.
a team.
Right.
So, but even when you're talking about here, where I said about being able to get the markers, Jenny DeJesus Marshall from our team, Jenny kind of took on the military from the beginning. She's been working on genealogy for decades, actually. This is all new to me. So Jenny has a veterans book, and for every person that we find as veterans, she's pulled their obituary. She'll find a picture, if we can, a headshot, pulling their veterans burial card. So she's put all of this information together. For anyone that does not have their stone, if the family would like to get their military marker, we provide that documentation to them at no cost.
Wow.
Or in this case, we were able to fill out the paperwork. So Tina Charles, who's the president of Lebanon Cemetery, Friends of Lebanon Cemetery, she was able to fill out that paperwork to get those first 12 stones. On Martin Luther King Day for 2023, the folks from Veterans Affairs out of Washington, D.C., the National Cemetery Administration, will be here. We're going to be over right behind us here at Messiah United Methodist. They are coming with the AmeriCorps volunteers.
Wow.
And we're going to be doing a program to kick off for 2023, being able to work with AmeriCorps and National Cemetery Administration for historic Black cemeteries all across the United States.
Where do you get these wonderful ideas? Every month there's something else that you're coming out with.
It is because we're so connected, particularly in this area. I laugh with some of the meetings. I'm like, everywhere I go, I come out with a cousin. So we may have to check just so that I keep my success rate there. But to go over into Lancaster County, many of the cemeteries there, whether that's Stevens Greenland or Zion View in Columbia, it's the same families that we have in Lebanon Cemetery. And then also then in Dauphin County, we have Lincoln Cemetery. Those folks are now going to be working with us on another project that we're working with,
Another
which
one.
is
Right.
another paved over prominence. So I'm a numbers person. I laugh because I always say, like, my brain thinks in cohorts. History was never my thing.